Hello guys, and we are here today with another very interesting deck profile. We are here today with some Moonlights, yes, some Moonlights, or Lunalights as they're called in the TCG, but I like Moonlights because I watched the anime, and this deck is actually pretty decent in the anime, but in real life, no, this deck is definitely not competitive. It's definitely fun, and can definitely win and beat some of the meta, but I want to go out of my way to say that this deck is extremely competitive, that will top a lot of regionals or YCSs. No, I don't think this deck will, but it does has a lot of shenanigans and a lot of really good plays, so let's just go right in. Let's start with the Fire Fist engine. So all these monsters here are Beast Warriors, or Dark Beast Warriors. Most of them are level 4 except for this guy. Lunalight Wolf is level 6, but you can definitely use these two guys to either pop monsters, pop back row, and just get your tankies to the field so that way you can search out the vast majority of your Moonlights. And so, yep, being able to pop aggro, and Bear will be able to set a fire formation spell trap card if he inflicts damage and if he destroys a monster by battle. So that is definitely very useful. So now on to the Lunalights. This guy is our continuous spell card. That is what he's for. You don't use him as anything else. His monster effect is to allow for Lunalight monsters to inflict piercing battle damage, but that isn't very important. We want him for his Miracle Fusion effect, where he's a Miracle Fusion. Banish monsters from your field or graveyard to fusion summon a Lunalight monster. Definitely very useful because this deck definitely has a problem with the inherent minus, or at least what I call the inherent minus of fusion summoning, which is being able to use 3 cards because it requires 2 materials and then polymerization to summon out 1 monster, so you just win -2. He gets around that by being able to allow you to make another monster for practically no cost. Like, your monsters are going to hit the graveyard, either you're fusion summoning with them or your opponent's attacking into them, so for the most part you're good. And then Blue Cat is the main deck monster of the deck, being able to just float. That's literally all Moonlight or Lunalight Blue Cat does. And float, because if it's destroyed by battle, you can summon out a Moonlight monster from your deck, such as Lunalight Blue Cat. And you can keep on doing that. And then you can summon out this guy. And if he's sent, or if he's destroyed by battle by card effect, you can summon out a Lunalight monster from your graveyard, just a Blue Cat, and then you can summon out another one, and then 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 summon out one of these guys from your deck because you just ran out of this guy. And so yeah, definitely very useful, as well as is it special summoned. You can target a Lunalight monster you control and double its attack. That is very important because if you're going to pull off an OTK, which this deck is an OTK deck, it's definitely very useful. Like, I just pulled off an OTK against Cosmos, and that was extremely amazing. And honestly, Cosmos is one of the better decks to go up against, because of the fact that all these fusion monsters can attack your opponent's monsters twice each. So if they keep on floating, you keep on attacking. And so it makes it really hard for your opponent to get rid of them, especially when they can't be destroyed by card effects. So screw Dark Destroyer. So like I said, this deck can beat against the meta, but it has some consistency issues. Alright, so Moonlight Tiger, he's our other scale. You don't really pendulum summon a lot unless you're going to be pendulum summoning Moonlight Blue Cat to get off your effect. But once per turn, you can target a Lunalight monster. This is its pendulum effect, and special summon it. It cannot attack, its effects are negated, and it's destroyed during the end phase. Oh look, this monster was destroyed. So you get a float. Just get a deck then. So definitely very useful. Or you can just summon out a monster. You use Moonlight Cat Dance's effect for it because you have to tribute a monster. So, or you want a fusion summon and you want to get back a monster such as Black Sheep. Definitely very useful. There is a lot of combos. Like, you guys have to mess around with this deck and see how the deck works. But once you get used to the deck and you're more familiar with it, you'll start to see the different combos that this deck can pull off. And like I said, this card is also a floater, being able to summon monsters from your graveyard if it's destroyed by battle by card effect. This one is absolutely useless. Send this card from your hand or field to your graveyard. Target a Lunalight monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack. Banish this card from your graveyard, special summon a Lunalight monster from your hand. So if you don't have your scales, which, I mean, it's not that difficult to get your scales. I mean, we don't have Wavering Eyes anymore, but it's, again, not that difficult to get your scales. But if you don't, you can use it to special summon out Blue Cat. And also being able to give it 1,000 plus attack is definitely useful. So you're able to put her up to 34, and does it double original attack? Its original attack. So I'm not sure if it would then go from 34 to 48 or if it would go to 58. I don't know rulings. I'm not a judge. And so, yeah, that's definitely, it's a name. It's just another name. Now, this monster is actually useful. It's actually very useful. Moonlight White Rabbit. when this card is normal summoned, so screw the fact that you have scales in this deck and you could pendulum summon it. Target a Lunalight monster except itself in the graveyard, special summon it in defense position, and you can bounce spell and trap cards up to the number of other Lunalight cards you control. So that includes your scales. So you can summon it, summon another one, bounce 4 cards. Oh, bounce 3 because it does include itself. So that's definitely, honestly, very useful because, again, this is an OTK deck and getting rid of your opponent's Battlecrow is a necessity. And being able to summon out another monster on top of the summon that Moonlight Tiger gives is definitely also useful because if you can get that poly, now you have 3 monsters on your side of the field. You can fuse a summon into Moonlight Cat Dancer and then use Cat Dancer's effect. So it can do a whole bunch of stuff. We'll go over her effect eventually. Black Sheep, this guy honestly isn't that bad to put up to 3 if you want to. Discard this card, add a Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand, except itself. Add a poly from your deck to your hand. And that's it for that effect. But if it is sent to the graveyard as fusion material, you can add face up 1 Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck or Lunalight monster from your graveyard. So it has a little bit of cycling, being able to add back that blue cat from your graveyard because you just fusion summoned with it, and hey, now you can just summon out onto your side of the field because you have your scale, or maybe you fusion summon with Purple Butterfly. And so that is it for the monsters. This is definitely the fan service, if you want to call it that, of the anime. And even then, it's not really fan service. But yeah, this is definitely the purpose of this deck, specifically in the anime. But anyways, on to the spell cards. We have 2 alert, because alerts add 2, and these guys are all dark monsters, so you have the pendulums, because why not make them light? Anybody want to throw in BLS? I mean, they're pendulums, so they're probably going to hit the extra deck more often than they're going to hit the graveyard, because you're not going to fusion summon with them, and you're not going to fusion summon with them from your hand. Regaki, again, this is an OTK deck, although not that important because these guys can attack each of your opponent's monsters twice each. 2 poly, I feel this is decent enough because technically there's 4 polys in the deck with Black Sheep. So if you want to put it up to 3, go ahead, but I'm afraid it will clog. Because once you make 1 poly, once you make 1 Cat Dancer, you're good. You're good. And plus you also have this guy, which is a Miracle Fusion and continuous spell card practically. And so once you make this one, you're set, because then you can use the Miracle Fusion to make this guy, and then you can use the Miracle Fusion to make this guy, and so it's definitely very easy. But but you do need to see this. You definitely need to see this. Code Demise, this is just kind of either I'm destroying my opponent, so I don't need a special summon this turn, so I'm just gonna draw 3 cards, or I have nothing, I'm losing horribly, let's hope I can top deck into a blue cat and float and maybe a Moonlight Reincarnation Dance. So just like you're screwed or you're doing very well. I believe Ace and Ice would call this a win harder card, pretty much. Twin Twister, not a lot of really good discards, unless of course you have this guy out and then you can discard any of these monsters and say, I don't care. But definitely something that you need to do and need to have. And then Mastering Second, this is my little tech. I don't know if other people are running it, but these guys can all be used to summon out Darklaw, or you can use it to summon out Anki if you really wanted to. But definitely if you, like, this is like just another stun card, because Darklaw can really mess with your opponent against like practically every deck this format. Like, oh, Pan Deity, you're gonna get that 1 card in the graveyard because that's cost. But when I chain this, your Pan Deity get banished, so no searching, and I get a banished card from your hand. So you use 2 cards to draw 2 cards, and then I get a banished one. So you just went -1. So definitely very, very useful being able to have that Darklaw. And then Tenki is, of course, Tenki being able to search out any of our level 3 or low Beast Warrior monsters, including our Fire Fist. Of course, you can search out with Fire Fist, or if you need a pop a monster or pop aggro, definitely something you can do. And then Reincarnation Dance, if a monster you control, so it works with these guys, is destroyed by battle. Or card effect, add 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to your hand. I want to read this guy. Can he destroy target 1 monster on the field, destroy that target? He can destroy himself. Combos. Don't know why you want to destroy an opponent's monster, but if you really had to, and you really wanted to get off that search, maybe you're going up against Cosmos and you just can't target them. But anyways, Moonlight Reincarnation Dance, being able to add 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to hand. That can get you a Black Sheep, which can get you a Polly, or it can get you a Moonlight Blue Cat, and or your Scales. So definitely something useful. And then of course we have the 3 strike and the 1 warning, just more stun. Unless you want to throw on Upstart, because this deck could get around Upstart pretty easily, and maybe some other consistency cards at this point. I wouldn't know what else you'd throw into the deck. So that is it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. We're running 1 Leo Dancer because you only make 1 if that, which requires Lunalight Panther Dancer plus 2 Lunalight monsters. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and can make a second attack during each battle phase. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, destroy all spells and monsters your opponent controls. So again, great against Cosmos. I mean, it's a 35 beater, and so you run over anything. You run over like Dark Destroyer, destroy all their other machines. They summon out more monsters. You attack into that, destroy all their machines again, and then hopefully you have some other monster to continue attacking, such as Lunalight Panther Dancer. Lunalight Cat Dancer, and 1 Lunalight monster. Must be first fusion summoned with the above fusion material, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. Fuck you, Dark Destroyer. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can activate this effect for the rest of your turn. The first time each monster your opponent controls will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. Also, this can attack all monsters your opponent controls twice each. So that's a lot of damage. And it gains 200 for each monster it destroys until the end of the battle phase. So you can attack into a weakest, gain a whole bunch of attack, and then attack over their strongest twice and deal a whole bunch of damage. And then Cat Dancer is just 2 Lunalights, cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn during your main phase 1, trigger 1 other Lunalight monster. For the rest of his turn, same effect as Panther Dancer, cannot be destroyed by battle, can attack each, but inflicts 100 damage each time it declares an attack. Don't know why it inflicts 100 damage, but it does. So definitely you can see how it just can OTK, because you're allowed to attack each of your opponent's monsters twice, and they stay, and so you can deal a lot of damage, especially if you do double their attack or increase their attack by 1,000. So you can see where the power comes from. And then a whole bunch of XZs that you never make, such as number 38, 2 of these guys, Dracosac and Big Eye. And then of course Tiger King, 101 Castel, and then Sky Calvin Centuria, because we have level 2s in this deck. And then also Jin Buster, 2 level 2 Dark Monsters. During either player's turn, when effect of an opponent's monster is activated, detach 2 extra basic material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Will not destroy the monster, but it will negate the effect. So that's all that matters. So yeah, that's this deck. Definitely extremely powerful, can do a lot of really nice things, and can win, but it just doesn't have the consistency, I feel, to do a lot. I mean, maybe if you guys can find more draw power cards by taking out this stuff, it might be better. Looking at you, Upstart. Looking at you, Chicken Game. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.